So I have 500 grams of bread, King Arthur's bread flour, 350 grams of water to make it a 70% hydration dough, and 125 grams of sourdough starter. I combine it until all the flour was combined, and I let it rest 45 minutes. Now, after letting it rest 45 minutes, I'm gonna add 10 grams of salt. So that is a 2% salt content. And now I'm going to incorporate the salt by wetting my hands, and then I'm just picking up the dough and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to go around the bowl just 2 times because the dough is going to get very hard and I will not be able to pick it up and fold. And I'm going to let it rest for about 45 minutes to an hour. Okay, after that I will do the same type of folding technique. It's been half an hour, and I gotta do some errands, so I'm just gonna go and continue to fold the salt for a second time. I'm gonna get my hand wet, and once again I'm going to grab the dough, turn, and I'm going to do that a couple times around the bowl until the dough becomes hard and I can no longer do this. But you can see the gluten development because I can stretch with no problem, and it gets to the consistency of hard chewing gum. And you see it's getting more and more difficult to fold in. Okay, so that's good. So I'm gonna let it rest now, and what I'm going to do is flip it over, tuck it over, and very little in my hands. Okay, this is because I wetted my hands and also because a lot of gluten development. So I mixed the salt, and I mixed the dough twice. Now I'm gonna go for the fold. I'm going to take the dough, and by the way, I've not put any oil on the bowl whatsoever. And what I'm doing right now is like a pizza dough I'm going to stretch this dough, okay, until when it becomes unmanageable, and by hand, and I'm just going to throw it on the table, and I'm going to stretch it. And it's amazing of how well it stretches. The table, no water on the table, it's just a clean table. If it perforates, not a problem. See how well it stretches. Okay, so now I'm going to stand to be stretched more, but I run out of room right now. So I'm going to fold it into thirds, approximately. Okay, see, it's not sticking at all. And now I put it in the bowl to rest for 1 hour. And we're ready for the second folding. I have some wet hands, and I'm just gonna take it out of the bowl. Okay. See how easily it comes off. And we're gonna do the pizza thing, and I'm going to stretch it, stretch it. And it's not sticking to my hands at all. This is a 70 or 73, depending on how you do the calculations. Okay, and let's settle down. I can stretch it quite a bit. And I can fold it now many times. Okay, so I'm gonna fold it in fourths. Put it back. Okay, 1 hour. Okay, so this is the third fold, and you can see there are bubbles here of the very lively. The dough is not sticky at all, but my hands are wet. So I want to expand this dough. It's tough now. It doesn't want to expand very easily. It was easy before, now is putting up some resistance. Let's pull it back. sticky at all. What I'm going to do is leave it like this and fold, 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 and then fold. There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
This is the last fall and bread shaping. I'm going to be shaping it to go into that banneton. This is a 1 kilo banneton, and this is a 1 kilo loaf of bread, more or less. Okay, so again, take a look at this dough. That is not sticky at all. And we're going to do the same thing that we did previous time with the stretch and fold. Okay. Look at all the bubbles in the bread dough. Okay, it's resisting stretching. Quite a bit. But we're going to win. And since I'm going to be folding it in thirds, I want to make sure that at least I make it stretch it into thirds. So it's a rectangular shape, and I think it's gonna be good. All right, so now I'm going to fold it to this point right there and to this point right there. I know that it doesn't look like it's smaller, but what we're going to do, stretch it a little bit more. And now what we're going to do is roll it. And as we roll it, I am pulling it to make sure that it is, I'm forming a very tight skin. And I can hear the bubbles exploding. Okay. This goes now into the Benetton that has been flour with a non-gluten flour. I'm using tapioca flour, okay? And I will put it in a plastic bag to proof at room temperature for 2 to 4 hours. And this is going to rise quite a bit. It's been 4.5 hours and the dough has been fermenting, and we're going to be putting it in the refrigerator, but I want to show what it looks like. After rising for 4 hours, this is what it looks like. And it goes to the refrigerator until tomorrow morning. So this is the day after. I've been preheating the oven for 1 hour at 500 degrees with a baking stone inside. I took the bread out of the refrigerator, and this is what it looks like. So we're going to put it in the oven, and what we're going to do is take a piece of parchment paper. I'm going to put it on top because I'm going to bake it with the parchment paper, and I'm going to fold it. And this is what the demolded bread looks like. And now I'm going to score it using a safety razor. Now, the way that I'm going to score it is along the top, but if this is 90 degrees, 45 will be about this way. I'm going to do it even shallower, okay? So about 22 degrees from from flat, so like this. And I'm going to start right here. And I'm going to go slow. All the way to the opposite end, and that's how I'm going to put it in the oven. Now, what I have here, it's a bowl, and I'm going to spray the bowl with water. This will create extra steam in the oven. So I open the oven. the bread in the oven. And then what I'm going to do, put the bowl there and turn off the oven for half an hour. It's been half an hour and the bread is been baking, so now I'm gonna put it for 425 at for 20 minutes. I took the bowl and this is what the bread looks like. After 20 minutes in the oven, this is what the bread looks like. And it got stuck on the pan right here because it grew bigger than the pan that I had on top. That's the oven spring. That again. This is the blister skin. And one final test, I'm going to do an internal temperature test. And it's at 210 degrees. Perfect.